Hi, and welcome back to our channel, The Oracle Keys. I'm Ruta,
And I'm Edie.
and we're going to be doing a daily tarot reading for the period of March 11th to the 17th. So we're going to be doing a reading for every single day of that week, starting with Sunday. So for Sunday, March the 11th, we're going to be using the magical messages from the Fairies deck. And in the overall reading for the day, we have Be Yourself card. Then we have the Let Go, the Holiday card, and Debt Paid Off.
Wow, that's an impressive little spread there. Be yourself. So our overall theme in all of these things seems to be the key is to be yourself. So when we look at the first card, letting go, many of us, in order to be our true selves, we have to be able to let go of the idea of what we think we are. When opportunity presents that something isn't working in our life, that's the point of, I feel, that letting go and allowing some energy to move between you and whatever isn't working to begin to filter the energy of what's not working and bringing in and making space for the energy that is coming in. It also allows you to release your mental thoughts, quiet them, and when you allow yourself to let go of those thoughts, then is when you are able to hear your true heart's desires, which usually at that point, if you're really paying attention and beginning to know yourself, you begin to hear this quiet voice within. And it's not pushy. The ego tends to be like, hey, you know what? I want this done and I want it now. It needs to be done now and everything has to happen right now. And if it doesn't happen now, then the whole world's going to fall apart. And pretty much that's what begins to happen. So when we let go of those things, those fears of what is going to happen if we don't complete something or if we don't do something, the perfectionism of our side of ourselves, if we let go of those things, we make the room for our heart energy and our heart desires to open up and be able to connect in and be able to be in the flow of what's coming in the universe. And with this reading, it is so important for us to do this today because it allows us to take a break. Whether on today is the only day that you have to have a little holiday, have yourself a little mini holiday. If you're able to go away, even better. If you're able to plan one, then that's fine too. Whatever you can do towards this is saying that the holiday is going to give you the mental relaxation to be able to clear your mind and make room also for what's coming in, because what's coming in is debt paid off, and many people are struggling very, very much with finances, with the burden of how to make more. And at this point, this is saying that the fairies are in this world here to help us with all of these things. They bring a lot of joy. They work in between the worlds to bring us a lot of joy. And when we have all these things in order, we're able to take holidays, we're able to release the stress, we're able to, pay our bills on time. We don't even think about it. When we're ourselves, when we're really learning to be our true selves, at this point is when all of these things start to shed away from us. All the things that we try to hang on to, all the things that we're stressing. If we take a holiday, well, then we're wasting money. That sort of mentality is being let go of. We're actually enjoying, we're receiving the benefits of life. We're grateful and we're thankful for the things that we're able to, enjoy and have.
Yeah, so it's kind of the opposite. A lot of people, what we were brought up to believe is that if we have money, then we'll have fun, and then we'll enjoy ourselves, and then have the opportunity to take a break, go on vacation. Meanwhile, the fairies are reminding, no, take that time off, take that, go somewhere or just take a day off for yourself and unplug from the things, from the mundane things that are bothering you so much that you cannot find a way out. So they're saying, right now, take a time out, go somewhere, and then come back with a fresh perspective on something that's there that needs to be taken care of. And there's probably a lot of things that need to be taken care of. And most of the time, it's usually the money, like there's a lot of issues about that, owing to, banks, friends, etc., etc. So right now is get that time off, clear your mind, come back with a fresh perspective, and then new opportunities are gonna present themselves with how you can take those, and work on the solutions. The solutions are gonna come to work on a problem that was there, and you thought that you didn't have solutions. So now,
yeah, and our negative ego likes to slip in there and say that we don't have solutions. So when you do the things like, let go of some of the worry and then actually take the holiday, you find the relaxation. You at those points is when the energy of spirit comes down, that you can be yourself and you can hear yourself. You can listen to your inner core and allow yourself to be able to figure out a solution to the problem. Because when you're not doing that, you're losing hope. And I'm sure that every single person at some point or another in life has felt like that. And the way we get out of it is to really truly be ourselves. So take this time this Sunday to do that. Take this time to maybe meditate and let go of some of the stresses that you're actually dealing with that are overburdening you. Take some time for a holiday, even if it's a little mini one. And also take, time to enjoy the fact that even if you aren't going anywhere, you're having a little mini holiday and you have things paid off. So that's pretty good. So being thankful for the things that, are. And if you are struggling with this type of mentality of letting go and just visualizing yourself and seeing yourself as your debts paid off, even though they're not, try some of these methods today and see if it helps you have a different perspective from your center.
So for March 12th, we're going to be using the Thoth deck, and in overall position of the day, we have the Oppression cards at the 10 of Wands. Then we have the Prince of Wands in the first position. In the second, we have the Magus. And in the third position, we have the Aeon.
So on this day, it seems that there's an energy in relation to the feeling of oppression. So that's the overall theme of what's happening here. But there is a pathway. These cards are telling us there's a pathway to overcome this. So recognizing where things are coming from, your perception of where things are coming from is a really important detail today in order to get out of feeling that oppression. We know that at times there are positions of work that people feel very oppressed at. They're very boxed in, they're not happy. When that begins to happen, we really want to be able to master what's going on in our life. We want to be able to change that circumstance. So take the time today that if you're not happy in where you are, if you're feeling manipulated, whether it's in your work environment, and I do feel this is pertaining to business. I don't want to say relationships, but maybe if you have a business relationship with your partner or your children or whatever, this is definitely dealing with business, with work, with business, with finances. And there seems to be a little bit of a theme. Yesterday we talked about, debts being paid off and being yourself. And today it seems to be getting a little bit deeper into it, going, hey, listen, you have to not only do that, but you have to change your attitude. You have to change about, how you're looking at things. You have to be able to master what's going on. Even though these things are going on in and around you, that doesn't mean you have to get sucked into that energy of it. It means that you are aware of it. And it means that you can step away from it and conduct yourself in a manner that you feel is proper. And you treat others in that same respect. And so when you do that, you're really doing light work that is phenomenal, because you're saying with your actions, not just your words, you're saying with your actions, I am not allowing anybody to oppress me. I am going to fight the fires no matter what the difficulty is. And if I can't even get out of the position I'm in, at least I'm going to be taking advantage of the space that I'm in. And I'm going to master myself within this position. And so when you do that, you're going to gain experience. And when you gain experience, your mind begins to broaden. You begin to gain more confidence, and you'll be able to move forward in life with things that are happening. You begin to master yourself.
So the what I'm picking up is in the card of the oppression card. There's a lot of fire that's burning. So that's the fire that's, it's the suppressed emotions that you're feeling about the circumstances that are most likely coming from your work, from your business, from your job. And so these fires, they will eventually come out. So it's up to you to control these fires. Are you going to let them out and burn everything in your, at your site, and then you will have to deal with the circumstances of
the
all of that?
destruction of all the aftermath of that.
Yeah. Or you can build that fire, and you actually can direct that to where is it that you need to, how do you need to handle that?
Yes, you take the fire energy and you begin to harness it. You begin to give form to it. You begin to give a thought pattern to it. And when you do that, you're able to keep it in check. It's going to warm you. That fire is going to warm you. And it's going to keep you going, and it's going to keep you motivated, and it's going to, make you very comfortable in your circumstances. And you don't want to be too comfortable, because then you stop learning and growing. But you want to be comfortable where you're not, under so much pressure, because it seems to me that yesterday there's a lot on the mind. There's a lot of pressure on a lot of people. Things are changing so drastically in our world. Is sped up so fast. Everything has to be instant. And so our physical bodies cannot keep up with that sometimes. And we need to rest from that. That's what it's saying. And we need to be able to focus. Today's the day where the motivation gets going, though, where you get that fire and you have to control it. There's a few things that are out of control that you're going to master. And it takes a lot of strength to do that. But you do have the strength to do that. And you are capable of doing it. So you have to put your best foot forward in that, and just change your sort of approach to it, is what I want to say.
And on the you mentioned something about the physical body reacting to it. So I'm feeling that that stress eventually that we're feeling, because we're suppressing so many emotions, eventually it feels like stress in our body. And how that manifests is, like your jaw is aching, sometimes you're getting like lack of sleep, and that you just feel like, oh no, it's just because I'm having so many thoughts. But no, it's because of the suppressed stress that you have. So the jaw will ache to the point where your shoulders start feeling the weight of the world, and you just you feel like you're totally surrounded by everything. Yeah. Meanwhile, you just need to release it.
Yes, and it is the same with any other health issue, including injuries. If you're not focused on what you're doing, your mind is all over the place about all that's oppressing you, then you're gonna get klutzy, and you're gonna do stuff that's gonna cause accidents to yourself or to others. So this is, it's important to not be destructive with this fire energy, and to keep it at bay, and to keep it like controlled.
So the Eon, the card of Eon, it reminds us that, as mentioned everything above, you will make a decision to control this fire, and you will, figure out a way to let it out in a very safe way.
In a very healthy way. It is a final decision. There is no two ways about it. You begin to master this fire energy, which is things that are going to sting you, things that are going to hurt you possibly, things that are a little maybe out of control. Maybe you're feeling angry, maybe you're feeling something to do with finances. I'm feeling this has to do with that. Or maybe you're feeling some passion, you're overly passionate about maybe a business, you're hanging on to that and it's not serving you, or maybe your way within that business is not serving you. So this is a final decision that you're making to master yourself, to change for the better. You're using that light to change for the better. And so that's an amazing feat, and that's a really great way to begin your Monday for sure.
So for the 13th of March, Tuesday, we're going to be using the Messenger Oracle cards. And in the first position, or the overall day energy of the day, we have the Embrace the Masculine card. Then we have the Focus and then Act in the first position. Then we have Know You Belong in the second position. And we have Share Your Thoughts in the third position.
So with this deck, the overall theme card in this position is Embrace the Masculine. This is a card depicting the Green Man. The Green Man is a very masculine but balanced masculine energy. He is able to take everything around him in nature and help it grow and make it grow to the fullest, and to give it strength and power behind it. It's about standing up for the self, embracing the energy, the forward moving energy. So masculine energy is projective and feminine energy is receptive. If we need to act and do something and be able to focus and then be able to act, we need that masculine energy to move forward. So that is giving us a huge helping hand up into doing what we need to do. So on this day, it seems that there is an important task, and it does require focus, and it does require action. So how are you focusing? What does it mean to focus? How do you do that? What exactly does one do to focus on something? And really, how long should someone actually focus on something? Is it like a time thing, or, I feel it is about energy. I feel when you are trying to create something, an idea comes to you when you are receptive, when you're ready to hear what's going on. So when you have this idea and this focus is so clear, at that point, this is the point that you begin to act. And I feel like today is the day that this begins to happen. We talk a lot about being receptive and feminine energies. I hear it a lot from a lot of people, and it is important to have that, of course, but we also need to act. And within that, that's the masculine energy. So we know within those things, when there's balance, then we begin to feel we belong a little bit more. We feel a little bit more safe within that environment of expressing the self, because this is also the time to share your thoughts. You're creating something, you're focusing on something, and then you're going to act. You're also sharing it, and you're also knowing that this is what you're supposed to be doing with your life. So how do you bring that in is through the masculine energy. And with this masculine energy, which is what this Embrace the Masculine is about, that is all about action. It is about using what is at hand and around you to nurture your thought, to nurture your business or your creation of whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's a relationship or whether it's a business or whatever this situation may be. You are going to be around people that are going to focus and help you, but you have to be able to speak. And you have to be able to stand in your own power to be able to do this and know that this is where you belong. So this is, an amazing card. The Green Man depicted in this card is about strength. It is also about focus. It is about clarity. It's about using nature. It's been being in tune with nature. It is about, knowing how nature works with you even. I feel that you've been sitting for a long time thinking and focusing on what you want, but your focus has not been clear enough to make a plan as of yet. And now I feel today's the day that you start to speak and you're starting to form the plan. By speaking with other people, you never know what somebody is going to be able to offer in helping you achieve what you are focusing on. So, when you feel it's the right thing to do, use your intuition to be able to share these thoughts with other people at this time.
Yeah, use your discernment to, let's say you're in a environment at work and there's a group of people that you might be feeling a little bit skeptical in regards to sharing your ideas. So use your intuition right now, right this moment, well, not right this moment, but use your intuition wisely in regards to, sharing these thoughts and ideas that you have pertaining to the, an idea that you would like to manifest, whether it's a business idea or a project of some sort that you'd like to, or maybe you're working, like on bettering your relationship. But this more, it feels like the cards are saying this is pertaining to the career and the job. And so people around you, don't be afraid to share this with, because you already have been working with these people for quite some time now, and you can tell that, there's people that are talking and they're all about the talk, and there's the people that actually encourage you. So go towards the people that are supporting you and will encourage you to move forward with what is it that you would like to create, because at the end of the day, you're an individual, you matter here, and there's a place that everybody belongs. Nature reminds us that everything matters. The Green Man reminds that every single person on earth matters. There's a reason why you're here. And so when you have that desire, that spark of passion that, okay, I want to do this so much right now, just go for it. Community, you will find people that will support you. And the people that don't, well, use that as criticism to improve on your ideas. But just keep going, because something that you're working on will make a big difference in your life. A very positive change.
And I feel not just for you, but for everybody else.
Oh,
you're doing this because I feel like the energy of why you're doing this is for service to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be a really important thing. An end result of what you're doing, of your passion, is service to other people. Mm-hmm. That's an amazing, amazing fruit to have.
Yeah. As well, I just wanted to add that, when you have that courage to move forward, you will actually inspire those people around you to move forward in their ideas that they might be hesitant. But when they see your actions, they will move forward as well.
That's right.
So, yeah.
That's encouraging for everybody. And it gives people, hope within themselves and a sense of accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, use this information and move forward. So for Wednesday, March the 14th, we're going to be using the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And in the first position, we have the Self. In the second position, we have the Emotion and Intellect cards of Water. And in the third position, we have 6 of Air. And overall card of the day, we have the Union card.
Concentrating on the self is extremely important. Going inward. And, this card is depicting a woman that is going inward by meditating, by understanding the energies around her, by weaving some, I feel like there's some ancient energy involved here, working with people at this time, coming out forward of really understanding the self. The emotional intellect, that having emotional intelligence is, at this point in life, I feel like it's so important. There are so many people at this time that are choosing to not be emotionally responsible, let's put it in that form, for a lot of things that they're doing. And so when people begin to act like that on a regular basis, it affects others in a negative way. So we are trying to change that about the self. We must do this in some way. We must focus our energies around understanding our emotions. And when we can understand our emotions, we know how we're going to react in certain situations. We've had experience behind us. Or we're listening to the experience of others who resonate with us, who we understand that will help us, And within that, there seems to be a peace today.
The the card, the emotional intellect, also reminds us, like a good example, you know, for example, we have kids, you know, like we watch them and they're very reactive to things. They, you know, they go and play around, and then when something happens that doesn't, you know, they don't like it, then they just react in the negative emotions, you know. So the people that lack emotional intellect, it's like they are children that have never, you know, they aged in their body, but they never matured in their mind. And so the cards are reminding us that at any point in time, it's a choice that we can take to grow up into the emotional intellect and acquire that and then move forwards in our daily life.
Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like this is such an important subject because many people come and they want a relationship. They want to know when they're going to have a relationship, how can, you know, they work on a relationship, etc., etc. The number one thing you have to do is you have to take time out for yourself. You have to understand your emotions. When you do not understand your emotions, or when you're growing into some emotional intelligence, it's not an easy time, but it doesn't have to be a difficult time. You just have to distance yourself from judgment and allow the emotion to move through you, and then recognize that for in the future of what that can do for you to help you move forward past a blockage that you may not have in the past. There seems to be the element of air, a movement within all of this. So your thought patterns and your structures of thinking are all changing to become more maturely thinking within the emotional energy. When we hang on to negative emotional energy, it creates a lot of illnesses. It creates, aches and pains. It creates all kinds of things. And so we have to look at that and really move that energy through the energy of air and allow the energy of the true self to shine through. The overall theme card is talking about union. So what does that mean? You know, what union is about, not just union with another person. However, I'm sort of feeling that beings, the people who are wanting that divine union or a union of some sort, a relationship of some sort, they are lacking in understanding that they need to work on the self first. When you do that, then the other comes in to complement you. It doesn't change anything in yourself when you are with another person and they are contributing to your life, you know, and you're contributing to them. That doesn't take away anything from you. So at that point, that's when you know the things are in balance and you can move forward. But the only way you can do that is understanding the self first, taking the time to be with yourself, taking the time to know what you like and what you don't like. You know, it's the easiest thing in the world to not sit with yourself. It's the easiest thing in the world to deflect your own insecurities about being by yourself. So it's wise to know that within union, there is so much support. If you really desire that union with another person, go inward, work on the self, conduct yourself as if you were in a relationship. Because if that's what you're working towards, that's what you're going to do with every person and everything you meet, including yourself. You treat yourself, you know, with all the things that you want to have within that relationship. And that's how that grows. There also seems to be an angelic force behind this. I'm seeing many entities from different dimensions that are coming in, including into our own dimension, that are giving you signs of that are forward moving. It also seems to be an in union part that there is some animal totem that seems to be wanting to get your attention. So if you know anything about animal totems, you know, then that's great. But if you don't know about animal totems, then you can easily Google, what is your, so if you see an animal today that is out of the ordinary or just catches your attention, Google whatever it is. Let's say it's a squirrel. Google animal totem squirrel, and then you can look up what that means for you and how you can apply that type of what's called medicine into your life. So I would say that, there's a lot of movement, a lot of air, a lot of angelic energies, a lot of earth, like just a mixture of everything coming into union that is balanced. So today, take the time to reflect emotionally on the self in a mature way. Distance yourself. Don't blame other things or other people for what's going on or the circumstances in your life. You must, to have emotional maturity, you need to take the responsibility at this time to say, okay, this is happening because I did this. So I can't blame the other person because this is a behavior in myself that I must change. And only then can you come into the movement, into a union with another person. I also feel that the energy of the union seems to be coming in. It's really, when I look at this union card, I'm really looking at this eye on the top of the page, and this sort of reminds me of the connection to your spirit, through your third eye, through your third eye chakra. And so I feel that with all of this, there's so much transformation that is possible today that if you just open your imagination to what union can actually be for you, then you're able to have clear understanding of how it's going to affect you and what it's going to do for you. And then you seem to just be sort of magnetic towards this energy. It seems to magnetically attract towards you. So I think it's an important day to be focusing on what union means to you. And do you even feel in union with yourself today? That's the most important thing that I'm feeling needs to be addressed.
Yeah, take some time. The cards are reminding you, take the time to, identify, because most of the time we find that when people ask us, so what is it that you want in life? What is it that you're, you would like to create? Or most of the time, for some reason, it feels that we're never even clear about the things that we want, So take the time to identify what is union to you, and what does it look for you to be in union with yourself and balance with yourself. What are the elements about yourself that you don't like, and what are the things that you do like? And then when you identify those, the things that you do like about yourself and you don't like about yourself, so then the things that you don't like, you can start working on them. And then when you start working, you will start bringing that balance to yourself, and that will start shifting the reality around yourself. Because once you start coming into balance with yourself, people of balance will start coming to you as well.
What you put out, the energy you put out, will reflect back to you. So if you're not liking your circumstances right now, it's because that's what you've reflected out. But the way to change it is to go into the self. And when I'm looking at the self card too, I'm really feeling like the three doves that are flying around are, in this particular thing, I just feel like it's representative of the Holy Spirit. So it's like the Holy Spirit is guiding your way to yourself. So ask the Masters of Light how they can help you today. Ask for their help. If you're connected to any particular Master of Light, the collective consciousness of the Holy Spirit are Masters of Light. And so this collective people who have walked this earth, who have so much knowledge about their world, that they've been called masters after their death, they teach us that we also have this potential within ourselves, but we have to tap into the self by getting past the emotions that are stopping us. We have to have emotional intelligence, and we have to be able to move that energy through our thoughts. And when the energy is moved through, we're not hanging on to it. We're not getting stuck in that emotion. We're moving past it. We're growing past it, which brings us into the perfect union that we wish for. So that seems to be the message that the Masters of Light seem to be giving today.
So for Thursday, March the 15th, we're going to be using the Rider-Waite deck. And in the first position, we have the 10 of Cups. In the second position, we have the Strength card. And in the third, we have the Devil card. And the overall theme of the day card is Temperance.
You know, I'm looking at this reading, and it is a reading of progression. So today there seems to be a lot of progression in something that you've been struggling with. I feel that you have a lot of support, a lot of strength. The support comes from community and family especially, and the strength comes within yourself. And I feel that this is possibly in relation to some sort of addiction or negative habit that you have, but it seems to be affecting your life, and you want to today's the day that you really want to take control of that. So you begin to take action on that because you know you have everything behind you that will support you through all of that. So the Temperance cards reminds us to be, patient and have balance within the self as we're going through these different transitions. And no matter what the situation or transition is, whether it's an addiction or something more malevolent, whether it be an illness or something in life that is always a challenge to overcome for many people, not just yourself. But you see that around you. You have the support of going through things, and you're not alone. And this Temperance allows the energy to come from in the heavens and from the energy of the goodness to help you through. There is a pathway through, and it's with the support around you. I feel like it's not that difficult of a transition. It's just you have to take the step back from the pride, and you have to put yourself forward and ask for the help. You have to put yourself forward and put yourself in a vulnerable situation of asking for help. And that doesn't always seem so easy. So today's the day with Temperance card that you have the help in order to do that with. No matter what the situation is. I mean, I'm referring this in this card to, I feel it's more in dealing with an addiction of some sort. However, it could be anything. It could be, maybe you really like to work on your relationship or your marriage, or maybe your relationship with your children or your grandchildren, or maybe it is you want to start something within your community, and you're thinking, well, if I do this, then maybe I might want to quit smoking cigarettes if I'm going to be a good example in the community. I don't know. I'm not sure how it would pan out for you, but I'm just saying different circumstances would be, it's not just one thing in the cards. The cards represent an ideal of something in a circumstance of one's particular thing. And this is a way that is going to be able to help you through all of that. I also feel like taking some care of the self today is important if you've neglected that as of late. And there's a lot of talk about that, but how much doing do you actually do with it? So even if you have a bath today for yourself, get yourself some nice Epsom salts or some scented oils or whatever you like, and enjoy that and give yourself some cleansing. Do things that are cleansing. I feel would help. Even a sauna or anything of that nature, massage, anything that will help you through whatever it is that you're going through in a physical way,
And the water is very healing, because when you're dealing with so many things that you're trying to change, your emotions get the best of you. And so water is very healing for emotions in particular. So when you do take that bath, soak yourself in and allow the salt to take out something that no longer serves you, and then give you the minerals and nutrients that you need to move forward with that. in regards to the emotions.
Epsom salts are extremely important for clearing the emotional energy within the self, so that is a good idea to put the Epsom salts in with this. And different essential oils, if you know anything about them. If you don't know anything about them, then find out wherever you're buying them of just one scent that you like. It could be lavender that relaxes you, or rose, or whatever you like. And it does specific things, to help you relax. So it's a good idea to do that today as well.
And when you do, take that time for yourself, you will have that opportunity to reflect a little bit in that moment. And that's where the strength comes in, because you are left with yourself in those moments. And the strength comes from knowing yourself. So when you begin to know yourself, you will be able to identify the things that are, like keeping you off balance, or, keeping you addicted to something. It might be, like a substance, or it might be a behavior of some sort that you're trying to work through because you realize that's something that's, it's not working for you anymore. It's not working for the people around you anymore. And they're telling you, hey, listen, you're being this way or that way. But yet there's something inside of you that's still has a grip on you. So sitting with yourself and, like even in a bath or going for a walk, because sometimes it's really hard for us to just sit and be still. It's extremely, extremely hard. So begin by just taking a walk, like a walk or in nature, or taking a salt bath once again. And because in those moments you're left with yourself, and that will allow that movement of, getting to know yourself. What is it you're about? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And like how to be with yourself. Most of the time we can't even, we can't even help but to not be able to be with ourselves. We need to constantly have, like music playing in the background, or like some kind of like a chatter that happens, because
we need to have some kind of entertainment fed to us of some sort.
Yeah, because we're so what's the word I'm looking for?
Distracted.
Yeah, there's so many distractions that we are actually so used to that. And when we're left, when we do feel that, hey, like I need some time to, rest. That's why we have weekends, for that. But sometimes even during those times we don't do that because we feel guilty for doing that. But there's nothing wrong with that. If anything, it's actually encouraged.
It's healthy.
And the cards are reminding that the strength lies in knowing yourself, in being quiet and still with yourself, and in getting to know, yourself on a deeper level.
And being patient with yourself through those processes, and asking your family and your loved ones and your friends to be patient with you while you're learning, because letting go of whatever the behavior or substance that you're trying to let go of, we're not always the nicest people through those situations because we're frustrated, and we're upset, and we misconstrue things because we're not thinking clearly in those times when we're in those behaviors. So we have to ask for forgiveness when we're messed up. We have to make it's not forgiveness as in if you've really truly hurt somebody, you really should make amends with that person, is basically what I'm trying to say. It's not coming from a place of lack or shame or any of those types of things, but understanding that you may have had created imbalance, so you're trying to create the balance, and to not judge yourself. So that way you're able to say and speak what you need to say and speak without fear, but knowing that you have love and support all around you today.
So for Friday, March the 16th, we're using the Oracle, Psychic Tarot deck. And in the first position, we have the Spiritual Union cards. In the second position, we have Love Begins. And in the third one, we have the Throat Chakra. And in overall, card of the day, reading of the day, it's Recognition and Reward card.
So, Spiritual Union is an amazing card to have because it means things are in balance. And we talked a little bit about that in the past, about bringing things into unity. And as we have this recognition of spiritual union with another person, there seems to be a synergy of energy that begins to happen. And there's a unity in how things happen with this as well. And what I mean by that, I kind of feel like the source of where we came from, this is how we were created, so this is how we create. And it seems to me at this time there is a different outlook about unions. And I mean, I'm not just talking about the different genders of acceptance and different levels of acceptance within relationships, but I'm talking about the ideal of, you know, marrying one person, being with them, and then that's it. That's the only person you're going to be with. And I feel like with this card coming in today, that this is talking about that and what this actually means. And so when you come together with another person and it is a spiritual union, you're meant to learn off of each other. You're meant to bounce things off of each other. You're meant to grow things together. And when this love begins to blossom, it blossoms through the energy of the throat chakra. So communication. That means listening, and it means being able to voice what you need to say as well. I wanted to touch on the synchronicity, energy of synchronicity. It seems that with this spiritual union that you're having, there is a synchronicity of energy. And this does not, by the way, always mean with another person. It can absolutely mean with yourself as well. So whether you are in a relationship or not, this spiritual union comes into balance to create something. And I really feel that the creation of what is here, there, if you look, you know, the couple that's over here, a man and a woman, is connecting in through their third eye. So they're being very spiritual together. They're connecting in with each other as if it was themselves. And the energy that is that they're creating, their voices are speaking into the cup, almost like they're filling the cup with, they can easily fill their cup with the voices. So communication is key here, I feel, through this reading today. And, you know, I think, I feel like people sometimes struggle with a sense of belonging. And there's a group of you out there today that are listening that are struggling with the sense of belonging. And when you have this spiritual union, even within the self, if you're not with somebody, there is recognition and reward that comes through today. And this is the overall theme of what's happening within this ability to speak up about the love and the thoughts that you have and love with this spiritual energy of union. And when you look at this card, it was pointed out to me that Rudy was saying earlier that this card is like he's bowing into the light. He is receiving the light through this hard work that it's taken to get to this point. Because in order to love somebody, you have to become a little vulnerable. You have to go through some hurts, and you have to be able to be okay to accept again and to be able to move forward. That's within the self or with somebody else. Doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is. When there's spiritual energy, then that's when the love begins to flow. When there's acceptance, when there's talking about things. And within that, that's where the rewards come through.
Yeah, when you recognize yourself for what you are and who you are, and the things that you need to work on within yourself, the rewards that come from the people around you, like a partner, when there's something that you would like to work on yourself and you begin to do that, your partner acknowledges that right away. They might give you a compliment, or they will support you with kind words and words of encouragement. So definitely it's a good time to just be grateful for that. You
Yeah.
know, like bring gratitude to yourself, to your life, for everything that right now that you've built so far. You know, most of the time we feel like there's so much lack in our life that we tend to miss the things that we already have and that we've built for ourselves with the strengths, you know, no matter what the circumstances were in our lives, we had the strength to overcome those things and that have brought us to this point in time. And so give yourself, you know, that pat on the back and say, you know what, I've done a lot of things, and I do recognize myself for the fact that I was strong through all of this. You know, like there was support, and I used that support, and I've, you know, people assisted me, and I've accepted that assistance, and I've helped others. You know, so that mutually there was this movement and balance of, you know, on their end they were helping you, and on your end that you were helping and supporting, and through all of that, where you are at right now in life, just recognize yourself for that and give yourself a pat on the back.
Yes. And it is a good time to thank other people too for their love and their support, for sure, from their part that they bring. It's a good time to express this love for in all areas of life on this day.
So the throat chakra is, you know, welcoming you to do that as well. That's all about expression. So use your words. Use your words wisely. Let's just say, you know, there's ways to use our words, you know, for to hurt things, to hurt people around us and ourselves, or we can choose that to use in the name of light. And so, you know, bring yourself the words of kindness to yourself and to the people around you today.
And that brings in the love.
Mm-hmm.
And that's being, you know, bringing in spiritual union as well. And how you speak to yourself, not just to other people, but how you speak to other people, how they speak to you, how you allow that, and how you speak to yourself. All of those things are important. And you do begin to see the rewards, even when you speak to yourself kindly. You know, those rewards come to be because you begin to believe in yourself a little bit more. You begin to accomplish things a little bit more. You begin to become a lot happier when you do that. There's times when the spiritual union is there for a reflection. The other person is there so that we see ourselves. And when we allow that energy to come through, then we can see ourselves as we truly are. So whether that's the good or the negative part. So when we come to the negative part, then we're allowed to take a look at that through the other person, because our behavior is reflective in everybody around us. So, you know, it's wise to take a look at that and not blame other people, but to take responsibility. And that's how you grow spiritual union. You don't blame the other person. You don't, you know, say it's other person's fault. You take responsibility and you say, okay, well, maybe, you know, this is how I can take responsibility of this specific situation. And then that part is where the rewards and recognition comes in as well.
So for March the 17th, Saturday, we're going to be using the Magical Unicorn Oracle deck. And in the first position, we have Brothers and Sisters card. In the second position, we have Family Culture. And in the third, we have One Step at a Time. And in overall theme of the day, we have Believe in Yourself card.
These cards are so fun. You know, I feel like these magical unicorns are bringing today the family together. And, you know, our brothers and sisters are the first people that we learn how to be social with. And we learn how to get along with them. We learn how to do our best, how to be our best, and we learn how to encourage other people as well. And this energy is so special. These bonds are so special between families. It brings in such joy to see that. It's really lovely to be close with brothers and sisters. You know, as you get older, your brothers and sisters, sometimes they move to different parts of the world. They're far away from you. They have different ideals. But in general, you share special bonds that it's really difficult to break. And they are really, it's a unique relationship. And with this next card here, the family culture, I really, feel like the way we interact with each other, with our brothers and sisters, whether they're older or younger, with this family culture card, it talks about understanding the family history and the family dynamics. You learn about the self through this to a great degree, and within that, within our DNA, we hold all kinds of secrets from our past that our DNA holds all the information about us, whether it's spiritual, whether it's in our soul body, whether it's in our physical body. This is so important that, many different religions over time have kept some of these things sacred and secret and holy, to be able to help families progress in future endeavors. Even stories of the Bible. In the Bible, it's all about family. It's all about how to treat people. It's all about how to treat each other. And I'm not saying anybody should be religious or read anything, but these are stories that people grow up with that do add some culture and to add some ideals and some understanding about how important family is to us. So some of the belief systems that we have in place do contribute to the goodness of family, and those things are extremely important. If you've had a falling out with some family, and I do feel that some in this situation today are in that situation where they have fallen out with some family members, if you feel inclined today, make the first move. Maybe make a call, send a text, even something light that maybe you can work with another person and become a little closer. Work through some problems that you may have had difficulty in the past with. Mm-hmm. And there is another card here talking about believing in yourself. Our closest relatives can also be they can hurt us the most because we love them so much. When we get criticized by them, we feel that sometimes to a deep degree. So it seems to me that believing in yourself and standing up for yourself is an important thing, and seeing yourself as doing well, then you will conduct yourself as such. Seeing yourself as the god or goddess that you truly are helps you step into that power, no matter what maybe some family members are saying to you. I feel like the idea that what you're doing is good at this time, and it's good for you. So I feel like this is the day that you let go of all of those things, and you still are close with your family, and you still try to mend, some hurts that have gone on as well.
The unicorn cards they're very mystical, magical beings, and as much as it's mystery and magic and unicorns and Pegasus, there is a great deal of loyalty, there's a great deal of respect that these beings bring to our awareness, and they, no matter what happens, they have the strength to overcome the disbalances that they have amongst each other within the family dynamics. And they remind us that at the end of the day, family is all you have in regards to strength, because as much as they can, we get ridiculed by siblings, and we get played with if you're a younger sibling, then you've grown up in an environment where you might have been picked on a lot of the times. But at the end of the day, unicorns are reminding you that that's still the strongest bond you can have. And that strong bond, if you build upon it, will take you much further, because you know, as much as we have, you know, friends to support us through our difficulties in our lives, families, they're without question, you know, you don't even have to question that. They will feel that there's something that you need, you know, that you might be working on. And whether it's like, you know, maybe you ran out of cash and you want, you know, you need some food, you know, like it's an extreme example, but they will sense that and they will come and show up at your door with the groceries saying, hey, I don't know why I felt like bringing these to you, let's have a meal.
Yeah.
It's an extreme, of course, it's, you know, but things happen, you know. And so just, I don't know, I just want to, you know, extend that invitation to these people, that, like, to some of you out there that might feel like, oh no, you know, like my brother's the worst, my sister's the worst. Yes, but they're still your blood.
Yeah.
Reach out to them. Just love them for who they are. If they fight when you want to give them a hug, whatever, give them a hug. You might receive a punch, but still hug them.
I hope not.
But through that, you will feel the weight of the world fall off your shoulders, because you feel that connection, that you have the support. You know, at the end of the day, you have the support of your family. And it takes a bit of courage to, you know, make a first step. But oh my God, the rewards you will reap from that, yeah.
I really also feel that the unicorns bring in this energy of purity, and our family helps bring that out in us to the greatest sense. You know, I remember hearing the Dalai Lama say one time in a video that I saw, if you think you don't have an ego, hang around your family for a week. Well, everybody is going to get, you know, irritated by being around someone long enough. So our family is going to do that to us. But the idea of what this is saying is that regardless of our little irritants, our families are so important to us. And it seems to be brothers and sisters, especially on this day, are important. So if you need to reach out to your brother or sister or brother, whichever way it works for you, please do. And come from a place of purity. That's what I feel the cards are opening up for you today, is that coming from a place of purity and goodness and resolve and appreciation. And believing in yourself that you can do it, that you are an important, valuable piece within your family unit. So when I look at all the cards that we have in this spread today, it seems to be a general theme of looking after the self, being yourself, believing in yourself, having balance. You get recognition and reward from things. There's unity in all of these things. You know, you sort of you work through the oppression of things, and you bring in balance with the masculine energies. And this whole week seems to be a whole progression of, you know, really going inward and really feeling the sense that you can accomplish things. You can really truly accomplish the things that you want, and feel good about yourself, and feel good about the way that you handle things within life.
Yeah, because as we were talking earlier, once you begin to learn, you know, about yourself, and you will discover the strengths that you have about yourself that you can, you know, use to your advantage in your life.
I also feel like, you know, this temperance card and the energy of what was happening here, some people have overcome some really difficult difficulties in life. And, you know, this is your time to shine and to be yourself and to reap the benefits of that closeness of family and of the support that is around you. And that includes in nature, you know, in many things. And so really, you know that you're supported out there by the angelic energies, and the energies of light that are out there. All energies of light that are out there are really, you know, wanting you to succeed in life.
So with this, we're going to conclude this reading for the whole week of March 11th through the 17th. We hope you enjoyed the messages that we've shared with you, and we are looking forward to having you join us next week as we do the spread for the whole week and for every single day. So have a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll see you soon.